Assalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I trust everyone watching this as well. I would just like to start off by saying Ramadan Mubarak to everyone, whether you're born and raised Muslim or a revered. Inshallah, we're all able to benefit and reap all the rewards of this holy month. Okay, so while we are on the topic, we will be discussing Ramadan. Okay, so it is the ninth month of the Islamic calendar, and it is one of the most sacred times for Muslims, and it is to be believed. It is to be believed. It is to be believed. It's basically considered the month where the Holy Quran itself was revealed from the heavens as a guidance for humanity, a clear declaration of direction and a means of salvation, so to speak. So during this blessed month, Muslims observe a strict fast from dawn until sunset, abstaining from food, drink, and other physical needs during the daylight hours. And fasting is a deep personal act of worship that strengthens one's connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Fosters self-discipline, if you want to look at it, and it also cultivates empathy for the less fortunate. And at sunset, the fast is broken with iftar, a meal often shared with family as well as friends, and it is a time of gratitude and togetherness as well as reflection, not just within but outside as well, not just introspection, retrospection. Okay, I'm going to be looking at how I've done, whatever I noticed from other people, the ones closest to me, the less fortunate, even the wealthy. Like you should be thinking about all of these things, like having that empathy for the less fortunate, but also looking at the wealth as well. I know everyone envies wealth, which is obviously a normal thing to do, but look at it as okay, if you obtain that wealth, would it be beneficial to you? If not, and it actually pulls you away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you should never want that. You know what I mean? So it's not always just about having those particular things. And you should just be asking yourself, why do we fast? Why do Muslims fast? Okay, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, in Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 183, if I'm not mistaken, O you who have believed, decreed upon you is fasting as it was decreed upon those before you, that you may become righteous. Okay, so with that verse, the Holy Quran itself makes it clear that fasting is compulsory for all able Muslims, and that they have to observe the fasting month to achieve that specific righteousness. Okay, so who is fasting mandatory upon, and who is it exempted from? Because like it was mentioned, for all able Muslims. Okay, so all Muslims who have reached puberty are required to fast during the month of Ramadan. However, those whom fasting would cause hardship are exempted. So this includes individuals who are ill, traveling, pregnant, nursing, or menstruating, which is basically the monthly cycle, and as well as the elderly, or those who have chronic conditions that prevents fasting. So those who cannot make up for missed fasts later, while I'm sorry, what are my notes saying? Because I didn't make this. Those who can must make up the missed fast later, while those unable to do so to age or long-term illnesses may instead feed a person in need for each day missed. Okay, so basically, those who can't do it in the current moment, for example, let's say traveling, or when a woman is experiencing their monthly cycle, so it's a temporary thing. They can't do it right now. They'll have the opportunity to pay in those days at a later time. And for example, those who just have a chronic illness and who will never be able to, basically at a later time, will have to just make up for it in different ways. For example, feeding someone in need. Okay, so many Muslims also increase their prayer and devotion during this month of Ramadan. In addition to the 5 daily prayers, they engage in Tarawih, which is a special nightly prayer performed at the masjid. And one of the most significant nights of Ramadan is what we know as Laylatul Qadr, the night of power, believed to be when the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ first received the revelation of the Quran itself. And this night is considered more spiritually rewarding than 1,000 months. So there's a lot of blessings on the night of Laylatul Qadr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted special virtue to this month by placing Laylatul Qadr within it. Okay, so even in Al-Qadr chapter 97, verse 1 to 5, it is stated, "Indeed, it is we who sent this Quran down on the night of Qadr, and what will make you realize what the night of Qadr is? The night of Al-Qadr is better than 1,000 months. Therein descend the angels and the Ruh, Jibreel, by Allah's permission with all decrees. There is peace until the appearance of dawn." Okay, so thus resulting in Muslims devoting this night to prayer and reflection, and sincerely making dua and seeking forgiveness for their past sins. And it is a night of immense mercy as well as salvation, a chance to a chance to be purified of all sins and to start anew with a heart devoted of righteousness. Okay, so it's a really, in a nutshell, probably like the cleanest fresh start ever, the cleanest reset of everything that you've ever done. Okay, and it's not just that in the month of Ramadan that's beneficial. There's a lot of other things. For example, like just health as well. Doctors agree that fasting is extremely beneficial for lowering cholesterol levels as well as for the other health purposes. Like it's just like a flush, like you eat something bad for a long time and it's having this negative effect on you. So what's the recommended thing? You stop, you take a break, you clear your system, you like create that flush. So that's basically what we're allowed to do when we're doing this as well. You're giving your body more time to digest everything that you've ever had in your system completely. And because you're only eating at a specific time, when you do eat, you're obviously going to be eating the sunnah foods and practices. So just overall, it's a nice, clean physical restart. Okay, and fasting is a means of purifying the body as well as the spirit. So as it gives the body a rest. Oh my soul, as it gives the body a rest from the continuous taking of digesting food. Okay, so like I mentioned, there's a lot of verses that were quoting and giving information about Ramadan, but there's also a few hadiths. Okay, so there are numerous quotes about Ramadan among narrations from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the messengers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And yeah, so even in Bukhari 38, al-Bukhari 38, it's whoever fasts Ramadan out of faith and in hope of reward, his previous sins will be forgiven. Okay, so your previous sins will be forgiven. My guy, what I've been doing, come on, I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need 2 of that, please. So yeah, guys, to conclude, as Ramadan comes to an end, also Muslims celebrate Eid al-Fitr, a joyous festival marking the completion of the fasting. And the celebrations on Eid, they begin early with traditional takbir as well as communal prayers and dressed in their finest attire. It doesn't have to be the most fancy and all of that, but just obviously having your best attire is sunnah, and obviously it's best practice. And Muslims gather to pray, exchange warm embraces, and greet one another with the Eid Mubarak statements, as well as foreign English. Why is the English not Englishing? We went through the whole video. But following the prayer, festivities unfold in diverse ways across the rich tapestry of Muslims. Okay, so wherever you are on the planet, whether you're in North Africa, in Saudi, South Africa, Mexico, like there'll be specific ways that will like differentiate the way people celebrate specific things. Obviously, overall, the main thing will be there. But I think it's really interesting that there are different types of Muslims across the planet, because what might be a common thing on the food table for you might not be the same thing if you go to Japan. They might have that specific thing that's like always there for them, and it's their tradition and their traditional food. And it's wild because it's like, okay, everyone comes from different backgrounds, but we're all still Muslim. So I think that's like the most beautiful thing about it as well. Everyone's going to be fasting around the same time, obviously the same month, but I get that time zones vary, but it's just the fact that everyone's going to be doing it despite having completely different backgrounds. So that's just the beauty of Islam, guys. And yeah, like I said, I hope that this month is going to be one of those Ramadan where everyone can just reap everything. You know, like if you have to recite more, you have to recite more. Please recite more, make more dhikr, abstain from as many things as you can. I understand that it will be hard, but it will be beneficial for you in the long run, in the akhirah. Okay. But yeah, guys, that was today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Assalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.